stopped, and you know I'm going to show them to you. So when they raided the Miami home, they seized a bunch of items and obviously took photos. Here they are. A bunch of Astroglide and baby oil. A shit ton more of Astroglide and baby oil, some rubber duckies, and it looks like a tank of nitrous oxide. A bunch of what I call stripper heels, and it looks like some rope. And a bunch of those outfits that are like fishnet outfits. A bunch of rolling papers. I'm trying to cover this up so it doesn't get taken down, but it's just a box of pre-rolls. More heels. That you can read and see what that says. These are flavored. I don't even know what they are. Maybe condoms. This is a case for a firearm. A box of ammo. So I'm covering the white powder, but it's under my armpit. There's a lot more photos, but I can't post them on TikTok. I'm sure you can find them online. They did say Kid Cudi will be testifying today. You know I'm going to give you a recap later this afternoon. If you're not already following me, hit that follow button because I post daily. This trial is not being televised because it's a federal case.
Honey, are you nervous to testify today? What are you expecting today? You look great.
You look great.
I love the fit. Not too serious.
Pull out.
Scanity oo Diddy la dhahayo iyo halaha picture laga soo qaaday hotelkiisa ama waxyaalaha laga soo helay hotelkiisa. So kaniti one of them was closetka. This is daawooyinka la helay. Kuwan waa baby oil key. Kuwan waa lacag oo laga helay daawooyinka sanka laga qaato. Dhagaxa. And the high heels oo agtiisa lafa. One of the guys were there. High heel kaas naag ma aha cagweynyo. Adaa xiranays high heelka oo stripperod ka xirtaan ba waxa iga yaabsiiyey waxaa jira wax la dhahayo like dominant like nin oo ama naaga noqon kartaa oo aan dhan ku xirxiris ku istaajihiisa. Anyway, ninkaas wuxuu soo sheegay Diddy inuu xiri jiray niqaab.
When he was arrested in 2024 have been released. Let's start with the pill bottle, which is clearly not in Sean Combs' name and is in Frank Black's name. If you remember, Cassie repeatedly said that Diddy used the name Frank Black to book hotels and to get things for the freak-offs. In the nightstand, they found this bottle of pills with 2 pink bags full of a pink substance. And of course, you know that he had his baby oil, which has been a hot topic throughout the case. Plus, he had some in the bathroom. There's a look of the hotel room when you walked in. Prosecutors just released these images today in court. There was also a hard drive of files that they found inside of the hotel room. Who the hell knows what is on that hard drive? He had these lights set up in the hotel room. There was a bag of cash with about $9,000 estimated in it. This baby oil was found in the tub when the bathroom was raided and when the hotel room was raided. And then we have more pills in the second drawer that was on the other side of the bed. And they found a fanny pack hanging from the side of the bed. What do you guys think?
Into evidence from the search of Diddy's home in Miami Beach whilst Gerard Gannon continued his testimony. Now, before court was actually in session this morning, lawyers were discussing with Judge Submaranian whether a proposed exchange about Diddy and Kim Porter should be excluded. The prosecution were concerned that the evidence might veer into jury sympathy, with the fact that Diddy is the only remaining parent to those 3 children, potentially leading to bias in their decision-making. But back to Gannon's testimony, he told the court today that during the search of Diddy's home in Miami Beach, they found 3 cell phones, which were tucked inside tall black Balenciaga boots. They also found a Gucci bag, which contained traces of various substances and also had substances inside, including pink MDMA, orange MDMA tablets that had the Tesla logo stamped on them. There was also a small baggie of coke labeled DBL Wash, and also traces of ketamine. The prosecution then went through a long list with Gannon of all the other items that were recovered at the search, including 31 bottles of Astroglide, 25 bottles of baby oil, and also a wooden box that was embossed in gold with the word puff. Inside was more MDMA and also capsules containing the active ingredients in mushrooms. They also discovered a loaded handgun hidden in a suitcase, and Gannon was asked to hold up a bag of bullets to show the jury, which he did. During the cross-examination, Gannon was asked about the use of armoured vehicles and also a boat to search Diddy's home. He testified that using such equipment was common practice during these types of searches. Gannon was then asked if they found 6 people at Diddy's home during the search and if they handcuffed them for an hour. He testified that they did indeed find workers during the raid, a property manager, a music producer, and some facilities employees, and they were all placed in handcuffs until their identities were confirmed. He also stated that one of these individuals was cuffed for longer because he was being uncooperative. Gannon was also asked to confirm that the AR-15s found in the closet were dismantled and not loaded. He also agreed when questioned that guns without serial numbers could be traced to their owners by fingerprints, DNA, hair, and fibers. When Gannon was asked if the government took a DNA swab from Diddy on his arrest, he said that he didn't know. A sealed exhibit was then shown to Gannon, and he was instructed not to name anyone in the photograph other than Diddy. Gannon was then asked whether he personally had any guns in his own home, to which he testified yes. This was the end of Gannon's testimony. There was no redirect, and next on the stand is clinical psychologist Dawn Hughes, who also testified in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Today, the court was shown more photographs submitted into evidence from the search of Diddy's home in Miami Beach.
These are some of the photos used as a government exhibit. The Homeland Security agent testified that when she entered Diddy's hotel room, there were bags such as this filled with baby oil. Now, not only were they enclosed in Ziploc bags, but they were seen in the bathtub, in the bathroom, on nightstands, and in drawers.
Photos from the damage in the hotel rooms, y'all. Make sure you like the video and check this out.
Hi there, Judge Ashley and Michael. So court is over today here in Lower Manhattan. We've been ending about 3 o'clock every day this week, so a little bit shorter than normal. On the stand, we did hear from a male escort who was testifying about his interactions with Cassie Ventura during those. He described in graphic detail how they would begin with massages and baby oil, and Sean Diddy Combs would be in the corner and he would be taking of himself at those times. He was asked, was Cassie Ventura on when she was taking part in these freak-offs? He said she didn't appear to be on. He also testified when asked if she appeared to be enjoying it. He thought from his perception of the activity that she did seem to be enjoying it and was engaged and consenting. Now on redirect, he was asked if he had any interaction with Cassie outside of the. He made it very clear that his only interaction with Cassie Ventura ever was during those. So why don't we go ahead and show you some sketches from inside that courtroom today. Sean Combs listening again very closely, using his hands at one point to blow hearts to some of his supporters inside that courtroom. The mother of Cassie Ventura, she took the stand today. Now, she did take photographs of some of those injuries that her daughter sustained, talking about on her testimony from the hands of Sean Combs. Here's some of that testimony that we can put up for our viewers. So you're taking a look right now, though, at some of those injuries. Jurors got to view these images from all of the beatings that Cassie Ventura had talked about that she suffered at the hands of Sean Combs. If we go ahead and put up some of her mother's testimony from today, she was very soft-spoken. She had a gray shawl covering her up. It can be awfully cold inside the courthouse. She was also testifying about why she took the photos. She took photos of Cassie and her injuries because she said she wanted to keep it as evidence. So Cassie's mom said December of 2011 was the first time that her daughter had told her about Combs being physically with her. Now, the jury was also shown several exhibits, including the baby oil. So the infamous baby oil. So shown some exhibits of all that baby oil, also some exhibits of a hotel room where some of the would end up taking place rather. You can see that picture that was right there that we were just showing. That's showing some of that as well as that baby oil. This is inside one of those hotel rooms where all that damage took place after one of the. Now, we also did hear some testimony from David James. He's a former personal assistant of Sean Combs. He was testifying that he was responsible for stocking the hotel room. Let's take a look at some of his testimony. He was saying the items that he was required to get included 25 to 30 bottles, which included as well as food, drinks, personal items such as baby oil, lubricant, as well as condoms. Now, he did say that Combs security always had $10,000 in cash or more on him. One of the things that's going to be important in this case is David James did testify saying that the money that he would use to buy these items was not run through the business, that instead he would use cash. At times he did run the items through the business, but then he realized that he was not supposed to do so. Why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about the jury makeup? So who is going to be deciding this case? We have a graphic, a full screen we can put up for you in which we just kind of tell you who is sitting on that jury. So today, some of their actions, their interactions or reactions were interesting to watch, taking a lot of notes. And at one point, kind of freaking up when they were talking about the Sean Combs took and saying they witnessed him. This is one of the witnesses on the stand, David James, talking about witnessing him taking, and one of the pills was in the shape of President Obama's face. So 18 jurors, 5 men of color, 7 white men, 5 women of color, and 1 white woman. Also, we are hearing that Kid Cudi, he's an important witness in this case because Cassie Ventura had a romantic relationship with him, and Sean Combs became very jealous of that, according to the testimony. He is going to be on the stand possibly tomorrow, and if we don't get to him tomorrow, we will definitely hear from him on Thursday morning.
Evidence against Diddy that they are using against him in his trial. And mind you, all of these photos are only from one of his homes, which is the Miami mansion. They got about 40 bottles of baby oil and Astroglide all together. And mind you, this is only out of one house, and they got a total of 1,000 bottles from all of the houses. This box right here is the box that Diddy would keep his green stuff in. This is not the wooden box that you heard the Homeland Security agent talk about. That box is actually right here, and this is what contained a numerous amount of different illegal substances. The fact that Diddy had liquid MDMA and liquid METH is crazy. This is how you know this man does not care. He literally had some of this stuff just laying out in the open right next to a $100 bill. Substances on different things. This is the Gucci bag that had a whole bunch of more substances in it that Diddy is trying to say is somebody else's. He had the Homeland Security agent look at a photo that was not shown to the public or other people that were in the courtroom, only to the jury. And he's basically doing this trying to say that somebody else was obviously in a photo with this Gucci bag. This right here is Golden Teachers, and it is a pill form of mushrooms. Diddy had so many weapons with the serial numbers shaved off of them that it was crazy. Like, he had these ones wrapped in a towel. These parts were found in his closet. This one was in a suitcase. Diddy's argument to the Homeland Security agent was really, don't you have weapons in your home? Well, duh, he's an agent, but I'm sure he doesn't have weapons that have shaved serial numbers. He had a whole bunch of 7-inch high heels, and I'm sorry, I'm confused. What girls are coming over to your house without shoes on? Also, things like toys and rope, that Vital Honey that helps you stay performing. Here's another drawer that was filled with outfits and toys. These are the boots sitting next to Diddy's shoes, where he would have 3 cell phones hidden inside these boots. And I'm confused. Like, why are you hiding cell phones in boots? I don't know if this is like a blackmail thing, if this is where he kept these freak off videos, or really what is going on. And last but not least, this is a picture of Diddy's bathroom where he has messages wrote on his mirror with lipstick. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of creepy because these messages don't make sense. I want to know, is Diddy writing this to himself on his mirror in his bathroom? In marker it says, what do you want? And then it says, love you, love Diddy. And then it says, you're a legend. I can't tell what this says, but then it says Team Puff Daddy. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Hotel room on the day he was arrested. Now, in case you did not know, Diddy was staying at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York City, and he went to New York for the intention of turning himself in. But before Diddy could turn himself in, authorities arrested him in the lobby of the Park Hyatt Hotel. Here is obviously a picture of moments before Diddy is arrested. The 2 men in the white shirts, they were the authorities that separated Diddy from his crew. So this photo is interesting. This is allegedly the mood lighting that Diddy would use during his freak-offs, and as you can see, there's a white light, and then there's also like a blue light. The first time I have seen a picture of the mood lighting. So this is Diddy's night nightstand in the hotel room, the bag to the right of the photo was actually full of rugs. This photo shows the other side of the bed with the other nightstand. As you can see, there's Diddy's phone, the hotel phone, a water bottle, sunglasses, a notepad. Looks like a fairly normal nightstand considering. Now, this is a photo that authorities took of the bathroom inside the hotel room, which very, of course, nice, expensive looking. And yeah, there's really not anything sticking out to me about this photo, but I figured I would just show it since it's part of the exhibit. Now, this photo is very interesting to me. So apparently this little device that Diddy had, I guess these devices have a lot of storage, so you can store like a lot of media content, so videos, things like that. I mean, I'm sure they found some stuff on that. This is a photograph of Diddy's pouch, and as you can see, he has it hanging on the bed frame. Not known as of right now, to my knowledge, what was in the pouch or if there was anything. Now, this is a photo, we will call it Diddy's pink sugar. All right, and then in this photo, so what I have blurred out, we're just gonna call them wills. There were wills in that little, what rhymes with will. There were wills in this little trinket tray here, and then a will bottle, and then it looks like just some candies. And if you guys remember, in the trial on one of the first days, it was revealed that one of Diddy's aliases that he used was Frank Black, and a will bottle was found with that name in that hotel room after Diddy's arrest. You know, the fact that there's still likely over a month left of this trial, I cannot even imagine what other images we will be seeing. Like, what are we gonna see? Definitely very interesting, though, to see kind of like what the hotel room was like, you know, when he was arrested and what he had on him. And again, I've said this in my other videos, I just cannot believe he really had all of that on him knowing he was going to be arrested. I don't understand that. All I can think of is Diddy really truly thought he would be able to turn himself in, and he was surprised when he was just arrested on the spot. It's just wild, guys. Let me know what you think of these photos in the comment section down below.